What's good? What's good? What's good, family? This is Queen Common Sense coming back to you from the Chi Town Holding It Down remix to the Sticks Kakalaka remix. I wanted to come back to you because this was dropped on my spirit. Okay, we've been digging down into the evil, demonic spirit of Jezebel and how it attaches itself to modern day folk. And we just gonna get right on into it because I pulled up a couple of little things here. We gonna connect some more dots for those of us who pretend that we sitting in the nosebleed seats and don't want to see, turning a blind eye to why we have to call the zookeeper on the escaped wild hyena to corral them back on in to their lane and maintain our peace. Now, this is not specifically about anybody per se on Love and Marriage Huntsville, but over here we use them as an example because they are very prevalently displaying themselves for everyone to critique outwardly, if you will. Now, I had to come correct. I had to come correct because I pulled some things up out my old studies from Christianity and just spiritualism that ring true, always will ring true, always will lead the way in deciphering, decoding, and protecting ourselves from this here Jezebel spirit now. So anybody that's anybody understand what the word is, however you want to label it, Christianity, Buddhism, Muslim, when you live a righteous spiritual walk with your creator, whatever you label your creator, the omnipotent one, the one we all know brought us here. Okay. You know that things will turn around eventually because you have to stand firm, watch, as well as pray. Faith without work is not living. Okay. There's no life if you don't put work into protecting yourself, guarding yourself, and drawing firm boundaries. See, that's what one thing in the Bible, the written Bible, did not fully teach us correctly. Okay. Hear me clearly. Fully teach us correctly how to draw boundaries and further protect ourselves with the work in maintaining those boundaries and self care after we seek the counsel of the spiritual omnipotence of our creator. See, you have to consult who created you first before you take any steps toward action. A lot of us in the Black community, we get that backwards. We want to lash out, do our dirt devilment, and allow demonic possessions to take a hold of us and motivate and uh, perpetuate the pain upon someone else in the way of jealousy, revenge, paranoia, and the such, right? But after the clap back hit us, when that boomerang of karma come back and smack us upside the back of the head a couple of times, then we use God as a meat shield. Oh, God would not approve of you treating me like this. Oh my goodness, look at the sin in that. Oh my God, the devil, right? We want to blame the devil on what we did to cause harm to someone else and then run hide behind God after the fact when we did not consult in meditation and prayer. See, the meditation come first because you listen first and then you respond with prayer. You know, God, what do you have for me today? Shh, and listen. And if in 30 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, you didn't get something that stirred you, that means you don't have a moral compass to say, well, God, You didn't give me an answer, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this, that, and the other thing, A, B, C, D, and then I'll worry about it, pray about it later. No, 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 that's not decent and in order. You have to consult, wait for the answer, the sign, or the symbol to give you the either green light or remain on red light, or yellow, proceed with caution until I say different. See, because if you really in tune, then God won't be your meat shield and you won't be looking for prayer and supplication after you already have received the consequences of your poor choices. Okay. Because the things that we see, I don't know about nobody else. I can't speak for nobody else. I speak for myself. The things that I see on a lot of these reality shows and in real life, because this is their real life, it's just chopped up in segments off TV or on TV. I have to deeply question if people consult God first, and I could talk about some of my own family members. My main teacher, my first teacher, my mama, she stay up in an empty church and listen to the same sermon every Sunday almost. And I know for a fact, after being a member of that church for over half a century, the things that I have seen and heard her do and say, I know God was nowhere in that. Okay. Just using that as an example. Now let's get into it here, because I got a couple of little things I want to show you. I won't be before you long. I want to waste your time, but you might be working or whatever. This might be something to help you get through that last couple little stretch of the day, or get you to lunchtime, or wake you up if you already had lunchtime, because today it is Saturday, 1:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're gonna take a peekaboo at a little clip-a-poo of an older whatchamacallit episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And this is highlighting the Jezebelness of the energy that we see going down here in these YouTube streets with these individuals who have zero accountability for the damage they have caused to others as well as to themselves. They always a victim. Always, we've been here. We did that. Okay. So let's get down with the get down. Okay, check it. Let me get past this little commercial. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. I got a couple of little things I want to show you to see what you think. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't slick a can of oil. You know, and this is really disturbing to know that there are these type of beings, floating around in society with access to unsuspecting people, and we've seen it all come unfold out in the wash. How deeply dastardly these folks are in a reality TV show. It says a lot, okay, that one would enable such horrendous activity. Okay. Now this is Love and Marriage throwback. Love and Marriage Huntsville season 1 episode 12, a segment from Don't Mess with the Exes, honey. Okay. And this is Cap and Kimmy in the kitchen of the house that the then Holtz had just built and sold it before it even touched the market, baby. Okay. Built it, was sold. Somebody probably cruised down the street and said, yeah, there we go. We home now. And dropped that load, that bag, and said, hey, don't even put it on the market. I got an offer for you. See, that's God. That's how you know you working in an anointed space spiritually. So here we go. Let's peep this little piece of clip here. And we're gonna start off with Melody in the confessional. If I can make it get to that right spot. Okay. One second. Here we go. Wait. All right. We on Reckless Reese Luther Scott, and we're gonna segue on over in the melody. Okay. We don't make give a fuck what he got to say. Let's go.
In their communities. So this is a big deal right now.
I'm so glad y'all came out.
I told you I'd be here.
And I'm glad you said that. It makes me very happy to see that Kimmy is putting in this effort, trying to move forward. As long as we continue going down this path, she and I will eventually end back up in a better space.
I talked to Tisha, and she said y'all talked, and it kind of went real left real fast.
I came in wanting to really figure out what our problem was so we can get it resolved and move forward. So I asked her, I said, you always say I'm fake. You always say I'm not real. When have I not been real with you? And when have I been fake with you? Tell me. She was like, well, we used to talk regularly, hang out once a month, and then you started distancing yourself. I said, first of all, you know I was going through a lot. So that's what that was. When you're going through something, you don't really want anyone texting you and calling you all the time saying, hey, I just want to check on you. It's kind of a repeat reminder, pretty much, of what you're going through. I said, but I think at that point, you made up in your mind that there was a problem with us, and I just wasn't being honest with you. I said, so because you made that assumption, that's when you started going out here running your mouth and talking and saying that.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Before you make up in your mind that there is a problem with someone who has not given you any indication that there is a problem, you see how the mind Jezebel jumped right in there and convinced Tinkerbell Tisha that there was beef with Mel right there. Just that quick. Now, Melody made it very clear prior to this. My marriage is up in the air. Okay. And at that point, she was like, I don't know. I can't do none of this right now. I can't do no comeback. I can't. Okay. I got to focus on me, what I'm feeling right now, right here. I'm not trying to hear none of that comeback stuff right now. Okay. So let's go.
Bad things about me.
With you being busy and with you branding and with you coming into your speaking engagements and those kind of things, it might have made her feel like you were putting her on the back burner. And she may have taken that personally.
And I would say, like, you got a personal problem.
This is why I love Melody, man. Melody did nothing wrong. Let's let this commercial rock. We're going to keep on with and peep this on out. Watch.
Coming up on Love and Marriage Huntsville.
What have your brother done for me? Man, come on. Maurice, you know that everybody was on your side. Do not start that. Our goal as parents is to put our children in the best position to win. So how about you?
All right. So we seen that. We know what happened. We already seen how it already unfolded, right? And everybody on that was, picking and poking at Melody then. Why you not a good friend? How come you don't call me? You distance yourself. You're not the same as you was before when you let us freeload off of you. What happened? Huh? Just totally turn their head to the realness of Melody's life as she knew it for the past decade is falling apart because of a Jezebel. Okay? Now, remember how we talk about how people feel so comfortable bullying and trifling with us black women. Okay? Now, I'm still a little torn with this one because we're going to hop over here to Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. Shout out to Uncle Rashad. I love me some Uncle Rashad, okay? And his staff of listen, this is Black excellence, okay? So we have an update. And I kind of was following this a little bit. I lost track of it because I had to jump back to work on the plantation. But I finally found an update to this young lady, a 18-year-old honor roll student that was in a fight that went viral. Okay. And she laid the epic smackdown on little Karen Kaylee Gain. Okay. Kaylee Gain was a clear laid young lady, you know, who was a little bully. Okay. And she felt she could pull up on our baby girl and bully her, minding her business, drinking her alkaline water, getting all A's, about to pop off and be something excellent in all of her beautiful blackness. Okay. Here come Kaylee. Okay. Here come Kaylee with the shits. Okay. Now I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this because we're gonna rock this out together. Okay. We're gonna rock it on out together here. Let me do this here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're gonna do this together. We're gonna bust it down together. Now, of course, we're not gonna show the fight. We don't want to see that brutality. It might be triggering, and this is a trigger warning as well, because bullying is something that I have zero tolerance for. I don't care if it's adults or young people doing it. Okay? Bullying leads to horrible things such as this because the so-called quote victim in this situation, they tried to vilify her as well because the person on the being bullied, the person being bullied happened to have a harder clap back, okay, and wound up victimizing the bully. And that's what I'm talking about. Now you listen. Let's peep.
In the Kaylee Gain fight. In an update, more proof has surfaced that Marnice DeClue was seen on a viral video slamming Kaylee Gain's head into a pavement.
Marlise DeClue. Our baby girl Marlise DeClue with her beautiful little 18. Look at this baby. Okay. Gorgeous. That's number one. She got pretty girl problem. Just like who you know who. Intelligent, astute, honor roll student, preparing to graduate so she could go ahead and be great and excellent with her beautiful black self. Now let's go.
Near Missouri school was acting in self-defense.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show.
Shout out to the Dr. Rashad Ritchie. If you haven't given them a click and a view and a join, let's do that as excellent Black people and support the things that are balanced, fair, and righteous in all of our Blackness, okay, and who highlight the demonic attacks that we go through. Hello, come on, let's go.
According to a juvenile officer who testified in the St. Louis Family Court on Friday, Marnice DeClue was responding to being punched first by Kaylee Gain, who was known to be a serial fighter. The officer who was overseeing Marnice's case serves much like prosecutors do in the adult system. This according to KDSK. The testimony, it came as attorneys tried to persuade a judge to release the 15-year-old to her family from a juvenile facility where she had been since March after being charged with felony assault.
As she should have been, okay? Kaylee don't deserve no bigger break or contrition or anything more so than what any of our beautiful melanated children would receive had this been reversed. Let's go.
And a Black Star filling in the details for us. Now, the viral fight, you may recall, March 8th, had left Gain with severe injuries, including a brain bleed, which resulted in part of the teen's skull being removed. The brutal beating that shocked many after it was captured on video depicted Marnice as a violent aggressor who heartlessly brutalized Gain, age 16, leading her family to campaign for the 15-year-old to be tried as an adult for the alleged attack. Atlanta Black Star again. However, Marnice's family, though regretful that the fight ended with Gain being hospitalized, argued that the behavior was abnormal for Marnice, who has good grades, no history.
My apologies. Marnice is 16. Kaylee is 15. Do you see how young these people of no color are, who have so much hate and animosity and rage within them toward our people? They're conditioned and taught to just understand that they are entitled to have privilege just because of lack of melanin. You hear me? Out the blue, here she come for baby girl Marnice. Okay, never been in trouble. Marnice has never been in trouble. But Kaylee is a serial offender of assault, fighting, and bullying. Peep.
History of disciplinary issues. Multiple teachers also testified about Marnice's academic success and good behavior in court on Friday. 15-year-old skipped the 7th grade and was an honor roll student, according to those who took the stand. The juvenile officer who reviewed school records also pointed out that Gain had been suspended the day before the brawl for fighting another girl. Greg Smith, an attorney for the DeClue family, previously told local outlets that due to the suspension, Gain was not supposed to be near school grounds that day and returned to the area to settle a score that stemmed from the previous fight with one of Marnice's friends. Clinton Gain, Haley's father, previously told the New York Post that he found text messages showing that the two girls had agreed to the fight that day. He also admitted that his daughter was constantly in trouble for physical altercations with other students. Members
Makes me wonder what the little girl's seeing at home to think that it's okay for her to stay in the fray of violence. Okay, let's go.
of Kaylee's family seemed to backtrack in an impact statement to the court on Friday after months of demonizing Marnice. There's more. St. Louis County Circuit Court Judge Jason Dodson ruled against the motion despite the number of witnesses speaking highly of the teen's character. However, Dodson said his decision was made to safeguard Marnice, a Black girl who has reportedly received several death threats since the video went viral. We'll be discussing that excuse. We will be discussing that excuse. Keep her safe by keeping her locked up. Okay, Judge. School officials have also received derogatory messages. St. Louis Post-Dispatch reports, quote, employees answering phones are called the N-word or N-lover, according to a complaint. Bomb.
You see Jezebel in action here, people, beautiful family. When we can't get our privileged way, instead of going on about your business and taking this as a L, a lesson and a loss, okay, you're gonna harass and badger the people who have nothing to do with the situation, you know, calling the school, threatening the staff. Let's keep going now.
Threats have been made to individual employees and at schools, to which law enforcement have had to respond. That's what law enforcement does. When a threat is made, they're supposed to respond. Let's start backwards, if you will, Jackson. This notion that you have to keep this honor roll student who was involved in a vicious fight, not the instigator. And that's according to the juvenile representative of the court. Honor roll student, not in trouble before, versus a serial fighter who was unfortunately seriously hurt. Keep her locked up, the judge says, for her own good. Not buying it. Are you?
Not particularly. I mean, I think definitely, especially given the fact of how, really gruesome the fight was, people will kind of keep that in their mind to say that she's just a monster. Unfortunately, Kaylee's head ended up getting hit on the concrete. If that didn't happen, then this wouldn't have blown over so much, because at the end of the day, both of these young women are kids. Both of them have time to improve upon themselves and to grow. And, kids will be kids. That saying exists for a reason. You're immature, your brain isn't full.
So the judge has our baby girl locked up, in case y'all missed that. Okay. Locked up the one who was attacked and defended herself, because that could have been her own head smashed on the concrete. So we're supposed to make ourselves smaller. Y'all following me? And not protect our own life, right? Because of being bullied and harassed by a person of no color. I'm not supposed to defend my life with equal or greater force to someone who has been constantly harassing me. Huh? Let's go.
Fully developed or whatever, but evidence showing that Kaylee was, a bully or always instigating fights, stuff like this can happen. Especially, this is St. Louis where I grew up, and really anywhere, there's violence. And if you participate in violence with any type of, habitually, then eventually you're probably going to get seriously injured or killed or sent to prison. So this is just kind of what happens when you always want to be up fighting in the middle of violence.
Okay. Same goes for running your mouth too much, like a Jezebel. Always trying to play your piccolo and manipulate people with your words. Okay. Same thing in any place, whether it's the city or the country, but that's how we get down in the Midwest. You a bully, you gonna bump into a bigger bully than you. Okay. So it's best to stay in your lane and shut up and mind your business. That's why I say cackalack a remix to the sticks. I still am not used to the culture of people just pulling up on me, talking to me like we've been friends for 10 years, asking me all kind of personal questions, telling me that they noticed me walking around or moving around, the little town. That's weird to me. That's very, very, very disturbing in my opinion, to let someone know who is a complete stranger, I've been seeing you around and I noticed that blah, blah, blah. Here's a personal question. And then be shocked at the very sharp, cutting responses that they get from me. And I have to go in and remind, look, I'm like, you don't know me. I don't know you. I just live here. I'm not from here. You know what I'm saying? I don't move like y'all move. And why is it so interesting that you approach me of all the other people around here? Why are you watching me? You feel me? Because that's how the culture I grew up in. If somebody you notice somebody watching you, it's time to be concerned. Okay, because where we come from in the Chi City, you first of all, you ain't got time to be watching nobody else because you hustling getting to that bag or to get into whatever you got to do. And if you do watch somebody too long, you might wind up with no teeth, because that's a red flag. What you watching me for? Hmm? Let's go.
Again, unfortunately, her head was hit on concrete, so she's in a very bad position. But if Marnice is an honor student and hasn't been in trouble before, given the fact that she's 15, I think that we should have some leniency for her, show her a little empathy and understanding. But, again, I think it's also fair that she maybe get a little bit of punishment because she cracked someone's head open. So I don't think she should get off scot-free.
That's what I'm talking about, though. Head buster. Okay? I'm going to protect myself at all costs. Okay? There is no rules or fairness in gladiator activity. When you approach me like a wild animal, I'm going to treat you like a wild animal. Okay? Now, sometimes there's necessary evils where you have to protect yourself and you have to use violence to do so. Okay? I have a personal relationship with bullying, just like my children do, because I raised them to be very grounded, balanced, non-reactionary type of people. Evaluate the situation, think critically for yourself. That's why I didn't do everything for them. I didn't tell them what to do all the time. I wasn't controlling and domineering helicopter parent. I was more like a drone, you know, if you will. I'm gonna watch you. You gonna feel me around, but I'm waiting on you to do what I taught you to do or say. And then after you accomplish the mission, successfully or unsuccessfully, then we'll sit down and discuss it. And if I have to step in, I will do so. But they gonna know that I'm there, even though I don't say nothing. Okay, let's go.
But I also don't think she should be tried as an adult. So that's my take on it.
I guess I'm having some trouble with the both sides. Again,
So
and I see it.
let me retract the other statement I made. As she should be tried by adult. I was saying the bully should be tried as an adult, not our baby girl. No. Let me clear that up.
It perhaps a little bit differently than you do, Jackson. Here we have an honor roll student who's never been in trouble. Her court officer is testifying it was self-defense. If somebody comes to my home, and again, I don't want to see a child hurt. The part of your rebuke that resonated with me was these are children, and we have to accept that. But if someone comes to my home and I'm protecting myself, my daughter, and they end up seriously hurt after attacking me, should I be held responsible for that? The other part of this is there seems to be a complete ignoring of the fact that we're not dealing with two children. We're dealing with an honor roll student and an extremely troubled child. And we've seen these cases where a Black child gets in trouble for far less. And my goodness, their parents are held accountable. Because this has happened before. My parents are held accountable for the child's actions because you're not supporting your child in the way your child needs to be supported. I'm not even blaming the parents. I'm just telling you, reminding you of what's out there. And so I wonder what you make of both sides in this case and an outpouring of largely white St. Louis. Too much violence in schools, Jackson. But this outpouring of a certain segment, and suddenly, well, you're in juvie hall.
Well, the only reason I'm willing to give some leniency is because we're talking about 15-year-olds. We're not talking about adults who, should know better.
Agreed.
Fully. That's the only reason that I'm willing to give, Kaylee a little bit of grace because, again, perhaps she can grow and improve because she's 15. But now that there's evidence to show that Marnice is not, a violent offender who goes around doing stuff like this, again, I don't think that she should be charged or tried as an adult. And I also think that she should get forgiveness because, again, she's 15 years old. And if Kaylee's head wasn't slammed on concrete, nobody would be talking about this. It would have just been another fight. So,
Yeah.
it's just a tough situation. But I think that, Marnice should be given another chance and forgiven.
Yeah.
And Kaylee should learn I mean, if she's able to, from what happened, then hopefully this will teach her that violence is not a good idea to live by.
And sometimes you barking up the wrong tree. Okay. The comfortable disrespect of Black women, young children, young ladies, middle age, older, it doesn't matter. The world of other cultures is very comfortable trifling with us unwarranted. Now, Kaylee had a discrepancy with Marnice's friend. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about with Tinkerbell Tisha, you know, Cuckoo Kiki being jealous and upset and mad because, well, you and Mel are friends and me and Mel are not. So how dare you, you know, be cool with her if I'm not? You my family. Same thing she did with Kimmy. You don't have my back. Which side are you on? Are you on the Scott side? Are you for the Holt side? That all of that triangulation, that's how things get out of hand and get to a point of violence. So again, if you have to call the zookeepers or act like the lion tamer to get these demons in check, I keep telling people I'm a Malcolm X baby. I'm not a Martin Luther King baby. I don't turn the other cheek and let somebody sick a dog on me and spray me full force with a fire hose and lay down and pray. Okay, I'm gonna come with a burner. Okay, I might have a tank just to make sure if anything jump, we got equal response, equal power, equal response. We're not gonna be on no unlevel playing field around here. Okay. Now, tell me what y'all think about our baby girl princess, little chocolate baby being held in juvenile detention for her own protection. Hmm? She defended herself and did so like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm tired of you coming for me and you didn't have a problem with me. The problem wasn't with me, it was with my friend. And Kaylee probably got her little backside handed to her on a silver platter from the friend too. Because that's how these little demons are trained. Okay. They're trained to keep coming back, even when they have been thoroughly humbled. They got to have a revenge. Got to come back around another angle to see if they can defeat and defend and justify the indefensible and unjustifiable behavior of being a bully. Okay? So we're going to move along here and hop on over here to something else because I want to tie this up in a little bow, this Jezebel stuff, and tell me what you think. Okay? It's amazing how people, people's perception of things from, you know, the white side of things and the melanated side of things, you know, and everybody wants to culture vulture, emulate, and, you know, siphon our blackness. Yet when it comes time to carry the same consequences that blackness carries, nobody want to be black anymore. Isn't that something? Just like white supremacy, the sins of the father fall on the shoulders of his children. Okay, you hear a lot of white folks say, I'm not going to feel guilty and feel bad, and this and that. I didn't own any slaves, but you reaping the same privileges that white supremacy offers you, whether you own those slaves or participated in racism at any point in your time in your life. You know, just because you don't use the N word doesn't mean that you're not racist. Just because you uh can tolerate being in the same spaces as black folks doesn't mean that you are not racist. Just because you have relations with black folks and produce cheering with black folk does not mean you are not racist. This judge, in my opinion, who is holding this 15, 16-year-old young lady in juvenile detention who was traumatized and attacked and harassed and had her life threatened because she conquered a bully. Okay. And I'm just going to say it plain. We know if it was Kaylee on the other side of this, everybody would have been cheering her on. She would have had a parade for overpowering this black girl bully. Okay. So peep this also with me, please, family. Little tidbit, and then we gonna bounce. When you do this to a narcissist, they will eventually become your slave until they are on the other side and have transitioned. Okay. Shout out to you know who, Narcissist Exposed. Check this little piece out that dropped in my lap about Jezebel. We're gonna go just a piece of it, just a little piece of it, and then we're gonna bounce. We got a little commercial, of course. We're gonna let that rock. But y'all, tell me what you think about this here in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like. If you want to support the channel, is cashapp is $Queen 1971 with a W, Queen with a W. All right, let's peep this.
To explore films that delve into the enduring impact of narcissistic abuse and offer guidance on embarking on a journey towards healing, thereby enabling you to cultivate a life characterized by security, self-assurance, and autonomy. Building a strong...
You heard that? Autonomy. Even if you are in a marriage or any type of relationship, friendship, doesn't matter what type of ship it is, any type of relationship it is, you are supposed to have a sense of autonomy. Let's go.
sense of self and fostering a positive self-image are effective shields against slander, falsehoods, and derogatory remarks. Reconnecting with the love you once harbored for yourself, your loved ones, and your past experiences serves to fortify your confidence. Individuals who engage in deceitful and malicious behavior hold less allure when you prioritize self-care and authenticity. Stay tuned for updates on upcoming training sessions once you've committed to the process. I trust this concise overview proves beneficial. Is the narcissist in your life behaving as though they're beyond reproach? In today's broadcast, I aim to shed light on why divine justice might seem delayed and how God addresses pride, manipulation, and deceit. Stick around, and I'll provide the insights you've been seeking. By the end of our time together, your wavering faith will find renewed strength. In the annals of biblical history, one figure epitomizes the concept of divine fairness. Jezebel, immortalized in the books of 1st and 2nd Kings. Married to Ahab, the king of Israel, Jezebel was a conniving, malicious individual who masked her true nature behind a facade of charm and allure, often assuming the guise of a victim.
You see that? Always the victim, but the main character of cultivating chaos. Okay?
Sound familiar? Narcissists often exude an air of indispensability, yet beneath the surface, they reveal themselves to be self-absorbed, immature individuals willing to manipulate and exploit others to fulfill their desires. Jezebel's legacy is tainted by her promotion of the worship of Baal, a Canaanite deity antithetical to the worship of God. Notorious for orchestrating the murder of Naboth, to usurp his vineyard and persecuting God's prophets. She operated with impunity, emboldened by her husband's acquiescence. Prophet Elijah's wrath was kindled by her actions, a testament to the depth of her transgressions.
Now, you see how deep this goes when we in spiritual warfare, black or white, because that's how narcissists operate. You're either all good or all bad. Okay. So that's how I'm going to measure you from now on. You crossed me. So if you'll do that, what have you done that I don't know about? And what else will you do that's even more dangerous and harmful to me if I continue to stay connected to your energy?
Despite the havoc she wreaked, Jezebel always emerged victorious, wielding her influence to manipulate situations to her advantage. Whether in the workplace, where she dupes the boss or instills fear in her colleagues, Jezebel embodies a universal archetype transcending gender. These characteristics
Transcending gender. So it's not the females that are Jezebels, males can be Jezebels as well. Okay? Transcends gender. Demons don't have any particular choice of who they want to possess. Okay?
are not confined to a specific gender. They manifest in individuals of all backgrounds and orientations. God operates in similar ways. It's crucial to discern patterns that might elude us when consumed by fear and anger. Firstly, God abhors idolatry and deceit. Jezebel's advocacy for Baal worship and her suppression of true worship exemplify narcissistic behavior. Like Jezebel, narcissists fabricate false personas and elevate themselves above others. Yet, remember, God detests the worship of false gods. Exodus 20 admonishes, "You shall have no other gods before me." While you might think, they don't worship idols, consider their obsession with self-image akin to gazing into a mirror. Narcissists exalt themselves and prioritize their desires over God.
And what happened? Huh? What happened? Look at me. I'm rich, bitch. I have this, I have that. Look at me, look at me. No, I'm better than you. You think you're better than me. Why don't you like me instead of her? How come I can't do that like she does that? Why does he have more than I do? How come he's doing this and can get away with it with his wife and I can't do that and get away with it with mine? Okay? Let's peep.
Beware, they seek your worship as well. Ever noticed how conflicts escalate when you challenge them? Their fragile pride mirrors the fragility of that mirror. Just as God cautioned the Israelites against idolatry in Deuteronomy 6, he also admonished Jezebel. Rest assured, God extends grace and offers opportunities for redemption, even to the narcissist.
How many opportunities of grace have been granted to the narcissists that we see and the ones in our personal life that we know? Okay? How many times did we say, well, you know what? That's my sister. You know, we gonna try to do this again. Okay. The half of them think she should apologize. Feel like she entitled to do this stuff. I've already told her and reminded her repeatedly, Tisha, Tinkerbell, I'm not rocking that way that right now. Okay. So let's just fall back a little bit, move around now, sis. You just got your tiptoe back in the door. And I'm trying to, inch back towards you, meet you about a quarter of the way, and you just won't, you trying to open it all the way up and see it's not gonna rock like that this time. You don't get the same access to me that you did before because of what you did as consequences to violating me. Okay, it's consequences. I know what I'm worth. I know my love is precious. I know I'm a beautiful friend. I know my face card never declines with love. Okay, not just looks. Don't let this move taste fool you now. Don't underestimate my sweetness for being slow or my silence. Let's go.
That marks the beginning. God will send signals. In truth, Jezebel's tale need not have concluded in such a manner. I'll delve deeper into that shortly. We're all granted opportunities and alerts repeatedly, akin to narcissists. I mean, how many times did God have to nudge your or my conscience to elicit a response? We can veer away from wrongdoing and seek forgiveness if we heed those signs.
Huh? And how many times do we get signs? Did we see the signs? How many signs and flags and neon blinking lights did Mel throw out there? Hey, time out. Time out now. Get back up. Back up. That's how you know when you are got chosen and anointed. You know, people are like rabid badgers. Just keep coming. Just keep coming. Just keep coming. It's like I ask you to fall back, please. I'm going through something very serious and I must not have any other distractions because this is my family. Do you see how possessed folk don't even care about your family? Huh? They just want to be titillated, entertained, coddled, led, and instructed to vamp all of your strength and energy, then turn around and watch you crumble and fall apart, and they will step over your lifeless carcass. Okay? Let's go.
Failure to heed them leads straight to destruction. Indeed, that's precisely what transpired with Jezebel. Despite Elijah and other prophets confronting her, Jezebel defied their counsel. She even plotted to slay Elijah. Following his demonstration of God's power on Mount Carmel, where he summoned fire from heaven to incinerate a sacrifice, the prophets of Baal, championed by Jezebel, faced humiliation. What ensued? Incensed by the ordeal, she threatened Elijah's life too.
And I don't know about anybody else, but I saw lots of threats upon Melody's life, her children's life. I've personally encountered the same type of threats upon my life. My oldest brother threatened my life because of the truth. I was telling the truth to my mother. We had a one-on-one conversation. She got her feelings hurt, you know, and I just told her respectfully, you need to strengthen your muscle of personal accountability and contrition. You violate my parental relationship with my children and you speak disparagingly about me to my children. And then whatever negative issues we're experiencing in our family unit that I'm the head of, you share that and dispense that information throughout the immediate family after it is agreed that this is me confiding in my mother. Now, that's the first woman, my first teacher, who violated my trust. See, and we're conditioned to accept this because that's your mama. You only get one mama. You only get one queen, too. She only gave birth to one of me. I'm irreplaceable. So if my mother does not validate my humanity as her daughter, her woman child, then who's supposed to validate my humanity? Huh? If it's not your mother. Because God already validated you by bringing you forth through conception. Let me stop. Come on now, y'all. Come on.
We're well acquainted with her tactics, aren't we? Remember Naboth? Doesn't that echo the response of an injured ego? Cross them, and they harbor everlasting animosity. Moreover, they are easily offended. Should they perceive a slight or deceit from you, they'll go to...
What happened? What happened when Tisha got the S poll critiqued, especially by Melody? Because what did she say after that? You're the leader. You haven't, oh, listen, let's go.
great lengths to retaliate. In light of this, I imagine Elijah inquiring of God, "How will you address this woman? What justice prevails?" Nevertheless, God remains faithful. It's not his desire for anyone to perish. He desires the salvation of all, including you and me. God provides ample opportunities for repentance and often issues warnings through intermediaries. All right, I see where you're coming from. The initial warning phase can feel like an eternity for those anticipating justice and transformation. It's during this stretch that many contemplate retaliatory actions, only to find themselves in deeper despair. It's disheartening to witness some losing faith in God and hope during this period. But here's the kicker. Divine justice is on its way, my friend.
And there you have it, folks. Divine justice is arriving in all her glory, and what? Revenge is best served cold. Black or white, in or out, righteous or evil, good or bad. Pick a side, okay? We can't ride the fence no more now because demons do not play fair, okay? Demons are not unbiased people. All right, with that, I'm going to wrap it up. I might come back to you again a little later. Okay. And I really hope that you're having a beautiful Saturday, drinking your water, passing out cases of haterade, staying prayed up, protected. You know, I would like to suggest for those of us struggling with our emotions daily, when we're feeling maybe sad, depressed, a little bit anxious, I hold on to a pure slab of turquoise. That's very good for your emotions. It's good to keep it in the left side of your body. If you could put it in your left pocket, wear a bracelet with some turquoise on your left wrist or your cuff on your bicep cuff, turquoise. That's why a lot of Native Americans used to wear turquoise cuffs up high on the bicep region of their arm because it's closest to their heart to keep their emotions in check. That was a protection stone to balance the heart chakra during war when they were preparing to battle and push the colonizers back up off their crops and land and off their children and their teepees and whatnot. Okay, so that's a whole nother story. I might, I might come back with that too a little bit later on down the line. But we're gonna be out. I'm gonna bounce. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the love, the support. We almost to 3K subscribers. Thank you so much. And if you so care to support the channel, it is Cash App for right now until I get everything squared away with my monetization. Queen with a W, 1971. And we are out of here. One love, fam. Black power.